Namaste, Khush raho bityao. Today's topic is size reduction forces. Forces in size reduction means how many type of forces acts during the size reduction. And size reduction, as I have already explained before in my previous lectures, it is the breaking of a bigger food material into smaller sizes. And there are different type of mechanism available for performing the size reduction. Crushing is there, and grinding is there, and shearing is there. So there are several forces which acts in different equipments which we use for the size reduction. And these forces are, as you can see on my screen, uh, compressive force is there, impact force is there, attrition force is there, and then cutting is there. So these are the forces which, when they are employed, and when they and the food material comes under these forces, then the breaking takes place. So the one force is the compressive force. When the product is being is compressed, and you can see in this figure it is being compressed, and as a result of this compression, and the product, the food material, is breaking down into smaller pieces. And the for example, the name of the equipment is crushing rolls, and the nut cracker is a equipment which can be used for this. And that's the principle of nut cracker actually. And then the impact forces is there. Impact is like hammering, and like just hammering, the hammer principle. And it by the implementation, or by the action of this impact force, the breaking takes place. And the principle is of the hammer. And hammer mill is the name of the equipment which is very popular, and especially for grinding, this hammer mill is used. And then the attrition. So attrition is the actually when it is just because of the if friction, because of the friction, we are reducing the size of the material. And filing, as we do the filing, जिसको बोलते हैं, so that is the same principle is being applied in case of attrition forces. And the name of the equipment is the attrition mill, in which this attrition force work. And then cutting is very simple, as the name suggests. As we use the scissor, as we use the knife, the sharp edge to cut a bigger particle into small pieces, like then that is the cutting. And rotary knife cutter is the type of the equipment which is used. And as I was telling in the beginning, in the compressive forces, so it works in the same way as the principle of a nut cracker, the principle of a hammer, principle of a file, and principle of a scissor in case of cutting. So, and these are the name of the equipment: crushing rolls, which acts on compressive force; hammer mill acts on this hammer impact force; attrition mill works on attrition force; and the rotary knife cutter acts on the cutting force. So these are the various forces which acts in various size reduction equipment. And now one comes the shearing. So shearing is what? Shearing is in which size reduction takes place by the combination of cutting and crushing. Both cutting and crushing are combined together, and then the shearing action takes place. And because of the shearing action also, size reduction takes place. So these are the forces which are used in the various size reduction equipment. Actually, you see these equipments in your day-to-day life, but you are not able to recognize that these equipments are there and they are working there. You have seen the grinding mills, you have seen the ball mills, you have seen the hammer mill, you have seen the attrition mill, crushing rolls are there, and knife cutters, and cutting machines are there, and attrition mills are there. So they all are around you, because since you are a food processing student, so you might have seen them in the laboratories, in the processing plant when we go for a visit. But here we are actually really discussing about how they work and what are the various type of forces. So that was all about the forces of the various type of forces which leads to size reduction by the use of specific equipments. So you should be very clear about that. And that's how, if we talk about crushing, so crushing is used for, making the flour from the grains, and grounding the feed and all that. And similarly, if we talk about the impacts of cutting of fruits and vegetables by sharp knife to reduce the size, so that comes in cutting. And in impact, like we are doing the hammering in a hammer mill, and attrition in a attrition mill, as I have told earlier also. And shearing, it combines the cutting and the shearing both together, and that's how the sizing action takes place. So that's all about this today's lecture. If you have any question, you can write it in the comment box in my YouTube, and I will answer accordingly. Thank you.